Tonight on KGW News, the Blazers' new owner arrives in Rip City with sky-high expectations and promises of big changes.
There's nothing I don't think we can accomplish if we just start focusing on a little bit of improvement every day.
Plus, a mother left shattered after her daughter disappears on an Oregon highway.
It's like I'm living a nightmare.
Then a growing health alert as a grocery store and 2 restaurants become the latest spots you may have been exposed to measles.
And how Evergreen Public Schools is making sure private spaces stay private with some very special help.
So the dogs are super amazing, the things that they can do.
But we begin with breaking news in a standoff on I-5 in Southwest Washington, one that's had the interstate fully shut down for more than 4 hours now. State Patrol saying it's dealing with a suspect who ran from deputies in Mason and Thurston counties, who then barricaded themselves in a vehicle in Lewis County. The chase apparently coming to an end when the driver hit spike strips. Let's give you a look at where the closure is. Both north and southbound lanes are shut down south of Centralia. State police telling us many of the drivers who got stuck in this initially have been able to turn around and get off the interstate. Of course, we will keep you posted here as things develop. Our top story at 11, the Trailblazers' new owner sitting courtside at Moda this evening after his official introduction to Rip City. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm David Molko, and already Texas billionaire Tom Dundon and others in the ownership group are looking to shake things up. Orlando Sanchez was there as the team ushered in a new era for the first time in decades. As Orlando, it's clear they want to win, and it's clear they want to bring Moda into the future.
For sure, David, and from a media standpoint, this is the first time that we've heard from a Trailblazers owner in years. And that happened today. The team officially introducing Tom Dundon and his ownership group, peppered with a variety of questions from a Moda Center renovation to the future of the franchise. It's a new era in Rip City.
That was fun and probably necessary, but it's more fun to win.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, someone other than the Allen family is running the show.
They've created this legacy that now, with a little love and care, maybe we can keep making better and better.
The Portland Trailblazers have a new ownership group led by Texas billionaire Tom Dundon.
How you treat your fans, how long it takes to get in the building, what the food tastes like, all these things are important, and I probably think about them more than most.
Winning was a common theme for the day, but the Blazers' long-term future in Portland has been the main subject since the team was put up for sale.
When I bought the hockey team, everybody, because I was from Texas, I was going to move the team to Houston. It's all I ever heard about, but I never spent any time on that subject. And I haven't spent any time on anything other than trying to figure out the renovation and the lease, and it's kind of all I've focused on.
Dundon says he desperately wants to get started on renovations and was asked about the funding for a Moda Center upgrade.
The people that represent the city and the county and your tax dollars are going to do a deal that's great for them, I hope, and then I'm going to try to do the same for the Trailblazers. I think we've got a good framework and we're moving forward on it, but we're just going to get a market deal and we're going to be fully committed to it. But how the form and structure of that is, there's a lot of work to do to figure out what that is.
The ownership group was dubbed Rip City Rising by alternate Governor Sheil Tile, who calls Portland home, living in Portland for the past couple of years.
We called it Rip City Rising, and that was a unanimous decision all of us made. And it was because we believe Portland was a world-class city, and it can again be a world-class city, and then potentially ascend beyond that.
And it's off to a hot start. Just ask alternate Governor Andrew Chern.
As a new owner, we're 1-0, so let's keep it that way.
Oh, gotta laugh about that. I mean, winning seems to be the new expectation. The Blazers did it again tonight. Do you think Dundon and the others are going to keep showing up to games, though?
Yeah, that's a great question, David, and that's something that I actually asked Tom Dundon was how much are we going to see him at games? And he said, well, early on, yes, you'll see him around, but in the future, probably not. One, he doesn't want to see his face in front of our cameras and him making a funny move when something goes wrong. But the nerves going into a game, he doesn't want any part of that. He doesn't want to be there for that. The losing is not fun to him, so he doesn't want to be there in public if this team drops games. But he says if they're going to win games, then you'll see a lot more of him at Moda Center.
I think if there's one word to describe him, it's intense, and it sounds like things are going to happen pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I think change is on the way no matter who was taking over, but with someone like Tom Dundon, you betcha.
It's going to be a wild ride. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Rolando.
I think it's as bad as it could possibly be right now.
All right, meanwhile, some Blazers fans are not thrilled about the plan to renovate Moda using public dollars. One fan putting together a website filled with research that shows stadium subsidies typically benefit wealthy sports team owners at the expense of taxpayers. He analyzed other NBA arena deals and listed what Portland should demand, including significant private investment from new ownership, a share of the Moda Center naming rights, payments in lieu of property taxes, and some level of rent or revenue sharing.
It's pretty simple, right? It's like, do we want to spend $1 billion on an arena where we get none of the money back? Or do we want to spend that money on other things that Oregon needs, like better transit issues that are happening in Portland parks? We need to fix our education system.
Some people might disagree with his assessment, though. He also thinks any threats the team may leave Portland are bluffs. Now, while the state has committed some $350 million, the city and county need to chip in order to solidify the funding. We'll keep you posted there. All right, let's switch to a live look over the Rose City on this Thursday night, Friday Eve. 44 degrees in downtown Portland, and it seems we are in for a chilly night. Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino tracking that in your first forecast. How cold, Matt?
You know, we're going to drop down into the 30s across western Oregon. You see the clearing sky that we had from our Lincoln City Skycam, a great sunset out of the Oregon coast. We're seeing some high clouds move on over and move in right now. There's also nearly a full moon out there, too, which you can see out of the southeastern sky. Temperatures right now running in the upper 30s in Scappoose, 39 in Forest Grove, 41 in Hillsborough. Portland still at 44 degrees. So already we've got numbers in the 30s in parts of western Oregon, 37 down in Newport and 39 in Corvallis. So it's a chilly night out there. We're running about 1 to 2 degrees cooler than this time last night, a little bit more in Scappoose right now because of the temperatures there that have already dropped in the 30s. But the frost advisory continues for western Oregon, except for the coast and the Portland and Vancouver metro areas will be a little bit warmer, no frost there. But once you get into the suburbs, there will be frost, and then hard freeze warning out on the Columbia River Gorge and the Hood River Valley. So cold start with areas of frost in the morning, but a nice warm up Saturday and even warmer on Sunday. We'll have those numbers for you in a bit, David.
Oh, looking forward to that. Thanks, Matt. To a health alert tonight with several new potential measles exposures in the Portland metro, including at a supermarket and 2 restaurants. KGW's Alma McCarty is tracking that in the newsroom. Alma?
Well, David, experts say what's happening in Oregon mirrors a national pattern. More measles cases at this time this year than we saw at the same time last year. While reported numbers may seem small to some, with 11 cases so far in Oregon this year, paired with these additional exposures, doctors say it's a growing concern.
Measles is one of the most infectious diseases we know.
And now, a reported uptick in exposures. The Oregon Health Authority says the latest exposure location is at this Safeway on Southeast Hawthorne in Portland. People inside may have been exposed if they were there last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, the times ranging from 8 a.m. to midnight on some of those days. OHA also reports possible exposures at the Lark Cafe in West Lynn on March 27th and the Pho.com restaurant in Gresham on the 25th, as well as in the ER waiting room at Providence Portland Medical Center Monday night. Dr. Dean Seidlinger, the state epidemiologist, explains just how easily the virus spreads.
If you are someone who's not doesn't have protection from measles, who hasn't received your vaccines, and you spend time in a room with someone who has measles, or in a room where someone may have left that room in the last 2 hours, you are very likely in the 80-90% chance of getting measles.
He says something that starts like a cold and a fever with eye irritation and a rash can deteriorate.
A red rash, usually starting on the face and traveling down the body. For many people, that's all they get and they recover. But for a fair subset of folks, particularly younger kids, adolescents and adults who get measles, they're more likely to get pneumonia, infections in the lung that require hospitalization, or swelling around the brain.
The best protection, according to state healthcare officials, the measles vaccine.
Have a conversation with your child's healthcare provider about vaccines, about the great job that they're doing preventing measles, which is why most people haven't seen measles, and the serious complications that can happen.
And although 11 cases have been confirmed this year in Oregon, doctors say that's likely not a complete picture, and there are additional cases out there. David?
Yeah, likely unreported. Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Thanks, Alma. In an update this evening, the man accused of kidnapping a Salem 11-year-old outside her home last August has now been convicted of all charges, including kidnapping and attempted rape. Authorities say Elijah Galaviz Arce lured the girl away from her home. Neighbors found them about a quarter mile away in an area concealed by shrubbery. Surveillance video here shows the moment police took Arce into custody. The girl was not physically hurt.
I want my daughter to call me. I want my daughter to tell me she's okay, and I really need to hear her voice.
A mother pleading for help in the search for her daughter, last seen Saturday night. Police say 28-year-old Maria Kilmore of Independence went missing along Highway 22 near Staten when she and a passenger ran out of gas. Kilmore contacted her stepmother and sister, who were on the way to help out, but before they arrived, 28-year-old apparently got into an SUV that stopped to help and then drove away. Kilmore left behind her phone and purse, which her mother calls unusual and troubling.
There's no way she'd let us sit here and worry like this. She would call me. She would check in. It's like I'm living a nightmare.
Kilmer is 5'8" and often wears black clothing. If you see her or know anything about her disappearance, contact Oregon State Police. To a brand new KGW investigation now, one that exposes why some Portland residents have been waiting nearly a decade, that is not a typo, to get their broken streetlights fixed. A Southwest Portland man says 4 years ago, a car slammed into a streetlight right next to his house. What follows were years of back and forth with the city. Then, on March 6th, the very same day KGW had scheduled an interview with Derek, a PBOC crew showed up.
You know, these guys are the heroes, they do the work, but it's like, what are the layers of administration between these guys and the mayor, and that just continue to kind of punt issues out and just aren't accountable.
Well, PBOT says its goal is to replace light poles within a year, but it prioritizes high traffic and high crash areas. And when it comes to that timeline, it admits it routinely misses the mark because of money.
We have the technology, we have the labor, we have the expertise. We just don't have enough people, vehicles, equipment available to be able to have a shorter response time.
That sounds frustrating. The city warns it could get worse. Proposed budget cuts at PBOT could wipe out some funding for streetlight repair. You can watch Kyle Leboshi's full investigation right now in the investigation section of our KGW Plus TV app.